Welcome to the Landmark Baseball Podcast. It's been a long time. My name is Josh. Over there in California is Neil. We are done with our hiatus. It's been about a month, I think, since our last episode.
Yep.
I went on a vacation, then we just couldn't pick a right day, and then I got COVID, and then we
Then
still
I've been
couldn't pick a
busy with
day.
work and stuff. So,
Yeah, he's a
and
busy
Josh is
man.
busy with work also. But we're here now. Been a great season and great season so far. So still got a lot of baseball to play.
It's
So
been fun.
yeah.
At the time of recording this, every team is about like besides like the Nets or the Mets and Nationals are like 14 games in. Every team is around there. So we don't really have a structure for today. We're just going to talk about our first impressions of the season. So I'm just going to go through division standings and we'll pick each division and like focus on teams then, if that's all right with you. In the AL East, Boston is leading it with a 10-4 record. Then the next three teams, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Toronto, are all tied. And then the Yankees actually have the worst record in the American League
Very
for the first time
surprising.
since 1998 when they did
Very
win the World
surprising.
Series. But it's insane. Yankees fans are like
Lost
throwing
four
shit
in a
on the field.
row.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can't beat the Rays to save their life. In the AL Central, we have Kansas City leading the way, 8-5 record. Cleveland's behind them, 7-7. Then the White Sox and Twins both have a 6-8 record. Tigers are just behind them at 6-9. In the AL West, holy shit. All right, the Angels are in first place with the 8-5 record. The Mariners are 9-6, just behind them. Oakland and Houston, 8-7 and 7-7. Then Houston's bringing up. Texas is bringing up the rear, 6-9. There's your AL. Best record in the AL is the Red Sox of all teams right now.
First to 10 in the AL.
Yeah, very crazy, very weird. In the NL East, they're just beating each other up. Mets are 6-4, and yeah, I mean they're basically a 500 team, and all these other teams are 500 teams.
Right.
The Marlins and Phillies are both 7-7. Nationals are 5-7. Atlanta had a terrible start; they're out to 6-9 now, so getting a little better. But yeah, NL East is just beating each other up. In the NL Central, the Reds surprise and take a 9-5 lead over the Brewers, who are 8-6. Cardinals are 500 at 7-7. Cubs 6-8. Pirates 6-9. Those two, we expected the Pirates to get off to a bad start, but the Cubs have not hit the ball at all.
Pirates have some players who are really hot also.
Yeah, of all teams, I've watched like a couple of their games when they played the Padres, and that
That series
Philip
was
Evans guy,
disappointing.
I couldn't
Yeah.
even tell you half of that team, man. I saw their lineup today. I was
I was
like,
thinking though, I was like, these teams aren't as dumb as we think we are. The Pirates got rid of a bunch of guys, but I mean, who knows? Maybe these guys will start slumping. But they had some guys to fill in who are pretty solid. And then, yeah, I mean, but yeah, continue on with what you're saying.
it's just the first time the Pirates have like had a direction in a lot of years, besides like
Yeah.
bad. In the NL West, the Dodgers, best team in baseball, 12-2
Oh my
record.
God.
They're dominating.
13-2 actually after tonight.
Yeah, after tonight, maybe that updated.
Yeah.
Let's see. They've won 8 in a row, I believe. That's insane. Red Sox were in the same tear. They won 9 in a row and finally
But
lost one.
Dodgers are playing much better teams, I feel
Dodgers
like.
are playing better teams. They swept those. Oh, yeah, updated. There we go. Yeah, in second place in the West, San Francisco 8-6, followed by the
Surprisingly.
Padres.
Yeah.
That lead switched today. They're actually both the same in the games back region, but Padres are 9-7. The Diamondbacks are 5-10, 8 games out already, and the Colorado Rockies are 4-11, 9 games out. Just a couple takeaways so far, or like early. There's some weird run differentials in the teams. Like the Red Sox are plus 26 runs. That's like third best in baseball. No one expected the Red Sox to be up here. The Reds are 27 plus 27 runs. Dodgers are plus 41.
Ridiculous. Just
Insane.
ridiculous.
I mean, that was some teams like total run differentials last year, and
I was
they're already
thinking
there.
about this today. They have multiple big innings like every game. And like
Mm-hmm.
most teams, if you have one big inning in a game, you pretty much win the game there. That yeah, like I said, they're multiple. It's like if you get through the first without a run, it's like a big deal. But there's multiple times in games they're scoring 4 or 5 runs in an inning, and it's just ridiculous how good they are. Like to go with that pitching is just yeah, It's ridiculous.
Tonight and last night are the first Dodgers games I've watched against the Padres. They've felt like playoff games so far. It's been insane,
Really
actually.
good games.
But
Really
yeah,
good
if you're the
games.
Dodgers, if you're having multiple beginnings, like you said, and your pitching isn't allowing a singular beginning for your opponents, I mean,
That's
yeah,
what
that
you
run
get.
differential is going to be
It's
plus
gonna
41.
get. It's gonna. It might be 100 by the end of the season. Who knows?
I think they had over 100 last year in
Yeah.
60
So
games. And then there's some weird ones, like the Tigers have, I think, the worst one in baseball by like a large margin. I've watched a couple Tigers games. They just get blown out or they win by like 2 runs, but they're not playing
27.
terrible. Minus 27.
Yeah.
The Angels are positive. Houston is plus 11. They're in fourth place. That'll
That
fix
kind
itself.
of I like. Yeah, because that kind of gives you like a good indication. Like it tells you, the Astros, they're not really a fourth place team. They're better than that. And same with
Toronto, same
the
thing.
same. Yeah, same with Toronto, and same with the Padres. Honestly, they're third.
They'll
But
be back in second.
yeah, I
I mean,
feel
that just changed tonight. So
there you have a really it's tough and then it gets easy. So they're playing one more game against the Dodgers, then I want to say 3 against the Brewers, and then a 4-game series against the Dodgers in LA.
that's a tough schedule.
And this is all and then they have a day off. They haven't had a day off in like the last week or so. So they're playing all that plus everything I just
That's
said.
a
Like
tough schedule.
so yeah, they're in a tough spot, but they have had some easy like teams. They had a series against the Rangers, they had a series against the Diamondbacks, they had a series against the Giants, they had a series against, did I say the Pirates? No, but they didn't. And the Pirate series
They
and
played the
the
Pirates. Yeah.
yeah, Pirates and Giants, they kind of both disappointed me. I felt like they should have won more games, but at the same time I was like, they split a series against the Pirates. I guess it's not the worst thing. They didn't lose, 3-1. It was 2-2, but and
Yeah,
the
I watched a
Dodgers.
little bit of that game. It was pretty good.
Yeah, and then the Dodgers, I mean, we've had 2 really great games go down on the wire. I've honestly been worried both times. I was like, please don't get blown out. Please don't get blown out. I'm like so scared, but I felt really good today, seeing you Darvish, go, 7 innings only allowing a run and only gave up like 2 hits or something. And then even yesterday, the bullpen, they had some young guys who did really good and then some guys who didn't, but I
I was so
mean,
sad to see Jake Cronenworth come to the mound. I thought they had it locked down, and then like Tim Hill gave up the home run to Seager, and then they threw in Cronenworth. I was like, oh no, they're out of pitchers. Just the
yeah.
problems with the NL, I guess.
No, I thought that was so crazy. So Tim Hill goes through 1 inning and I thought that was a big deal because Tim Hill, I have not trusted him at all. He's one of the few guys. So their bullpen I think
He's
is pretty.
unproven.
I think their bullpen is like one of the best from what I've seen. Their bullpen is really good. I think we have a lot of guys and we can go down and get minor leaguers and call them up who are really good. And him, I don't like him when he's in. It's always scary. So for him to get through an inning against the Dodgers, I was like, okay, this is good. And they had that in the next inning after that, or the bottom of that inning and the prior inning, they had multiple chances to walk it off and they didn't. And they should have there because yeah, Tim Hill, he got you through 1 inning. You can't expect another one. And like I texted you, I'm not even kidding. The second I saw that inning started, they put Betts at second because the new rule, and then Cedar at the plate. I'm like, this game's over. I was like, I'm sorry, this game is over. These guys are too good. Like Tim
I've
Hill,
kind
I
of
don't trust him
accepted
at
that like
all.
if that runner on second is like if it doesn't score, that's huge. But if they do score, it's kind of like you also get like almost a free run. I hate this
Right.
rule so much, but
I
I mean, can't
see.
give
I
up the home
don't.
run to Seager.
I look at it sometimes, and the game yesterday it shows why it wasn't that bad because both teams still had chances, and Padres they had so many chances to walk it
They
off. I
blew a lot
think
of chances.
both
Tatis struck
times
out with
they
the bases
had
loaded, I think.
both times they had a one like in the like I want to say 11th and 12th inning they had a guy on third with 1 out, so they had a sac
Yeah,
fly to win it all, and they couldn't. But then also, I mean, to about the rule though, it does what they said they were trying to reduce game
yeah.
time, and it does that. So I will give them that. It's a good way to go about it, and I don't think it's that it's not that terrible because the other team does have a chance to respond. You can't get walked off just because of how the structure of the innings work. So I think I at first I didn't like it, but at the same time it's like every team has to deal with it, and it really does achieve what they're trying to do, and we just gotta I feel like move with the times. This is baseball. They want to change the direction of the sport, and this is how they want to go about it. But I mean, yeah, it didn't really seem to bother me last night too much. I think both teams had
I
chances.
think I'd just like it a lot better if they like after 11 extra innings they would implement it in like the 12th inning and then it's there. But I think my favorite part about like extra innings is the manufacturing of the winning or go ahead runs. It's just so nice to like that get the first guy comes up in the box and he hits like a leadoff single and like everybody's hype. But a leadoff single now it's like the run already scores and you kind of get cheated out of that full
Right.
experience. But I
Plus,
definitely get why they did it.
plus they just walk a lot of guys and go for the double play, so it's kind of
Yeah, and there's
weird.
some funny business there. Like
Yeah, you
teams are
saw
all of a
last
sudden
night,
bunting and
and
stuff.
you saw
But
last night they hit the Padres. So there was a hit by pitch last night in the Padres game, and it kind of looked intentional because they
yeah, I
they
saw
wanted to
that.
walk the dude. They had a base open because the runner
I
at
think he went
second.
down 2-0 on him, and then he just plunked them.
Yeah, so that was kind of, yeah. I mean, it'll cause stuff like that, but. I mean, it is what it is, yeah, like, I was just like, the whole time, I was just like, wow, like, at any point, like, they could have just hit a single and won it, but I mean, it just shows, it's hard to get a hit, but that's what made that whole
Tatis, man,
game.
striking out with the
Oh,
bases,
yeah,
though. That was rough.
he just hasn't, like, had it, like, all
Yeah, what's
season.
going on with him? I mean, he's made
He's
seven
like,
errors in
yeah,
7 games.
yeah, he's like, the
He's
first
batting like
couple,
150.
the first couple were, like, really bad, the first couple games, and then when he
Last
was
night he cost them a run. He overthrew one as
Yeah,
an
that
unearned
was a
run.
pretty. He made a great play to stop it, but then he threw it away at second, and he really just should have pocketed the ball because he really had no shot at second. But
It was a sloppy game last night. It was like I think the Dodgers had 2 errors and
Dodgers
the Padres
had.
had three, something like
I
that.
think it was the opposite. I think.
Okay.
But yeah,
I just remember seeing it both like the earned runs should have been four each for each team. So if there were no errors, we would have had a straight extra inning game instead of kind of the Manny Machado manufacturing a run. That was insane.
that was insane. Yeah, Manny. I have a lot more respect for him now, especially seeing Tatis get hurt all the time. The fact that he plays. Every day. He doesn't play as hard as Tatis, but maybe that's why he plays every day.
Yeah.
And he's producing and I mean, yeah, I was honestly happy though, when Tatis was hurt. It was bad, but it kind of like was like, okay, maybe he needs this because his shoulder's messed up, and this
He's still
series,
playing through it, whatever it
yeah,
is.
and
I saw that swing he took.
this is a very tough first series to come back, against like the Dodgers, and he did have a solo home run, but I mean, it wasn't like, I mean, it was big at the time, I guess. It was pretty big. I think they went up
But when you strike
2-1.
out three times later in the game, it kind of
Right.
negates it.
And like he just needs to get better defensively, or he needs to, I mean, not get better defensively. Like we've seen, him make great defensive plays, but he's just being way too wild. And
He's never
um,
been this bad at defense.
yeah, he's like the amount of errors he's committing is ridiculous. And when he was out, Kim and Cronenworth, their depth really showed. It was nice to see that they had, backup guys who they were playing great defensively. And honestly, I was like, Machado at third, Kim at second, or Cronenworth, the middle infield, that's not terrible. But then, like, what do you do with Tatis? And it's like, you could give him time to heal, but I mean, they'll figure it out. I mean, I think there's the whole offense, they have not been great with the runners in scoring position so far this year. And that's the difference between this year and last year so far. Last year, I want to say they had the highest OPS. I'm pretty sure they did. They say that all the time on the
They were up
live.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say they had the highest OPS with runners in scoring position last year, and this year they're like hitting 231 or something, and they have some guys who are hot. Hosmer and Myers, they're doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Machado's doing like 250-ish, has some home runs, but he can
Profar, how
do a
about
lot
that?
better.
That go
Profar's
ahead
doing really good.
game tying double yesterday. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that game yesterday, yeah, and then Hosmer's hit after Machado, got on and got to third.
I mean,
That's
I don't think casual fans understand what Machado did last night. Like, so he works the count full after he kind of looked really beat up in that at bat. He
right,
like
and that was
swung
they
and
had
didn't
two
look
outs at
good.
that point.
No, I think it was a leadoff, but like he just kept. You might be right. It was like one or two outs, maybe. I
I
don't
think it
know,
was
but
two. I think it was two because I remember thinking I was like, Machado's gonna be the final out, and then Hosmer was right behind him.
no, he was leadoff because Tatis struck out the last inning to end that inning, and then it rolled over into Machado.
It did, okay.
I think.
Yeah.
it's kind of irrelevant, but Machado steals second. He ends up making it. And then on a wild pitch, he goes to third on like what was kind of close. Like he had to make a split second decision, and he ends up first to third in a single at bat. Like Hosmer wasn't even done, and then Hosmer scores him with the single. I mean, he just manufactured that run.
Right.
He
That
doesn't steal
was
second. That's probably a double play, or he at least gets to second, and then it's first and second. But turned it into a game tying run, and I mean, casuals probably don't quite fully grasp like that's the difference between a good player and a great player.
I mean, that was just tough though. He could have gotten like even the Padres commentators were shocked when he was stealing because that could obviously could get caught and
It looked like he would have made it anyway, but it
right,
was it was
right.
close.
Yeah, but yeah, he definitely he manufactured a run and that was huge. But Hosmer still getting the hit was pretty huge. I'm pretty sure Hosmer was down to 2 strikes at one point, and he beat the
Yeah, I think he had
shift.
0-2.
And then so yeah, that was a great game overall. And I'm just happy to see that they can compete with the Dodgers because I mean, yeah, like you said, these feel like playoff games, and the Dodgers they're giving us their best. And I'm like, with other teams, I was thinking about this like when I was watching this year. I've pretty much watched all the Padres games this year. When other teams send out their bullpen, it's like, oh, who are these guys? They're about to get like destroyed. But then with the Dodgers, like I just trust that these guys are good. Like I don't know who they are,
Yeah,
but then, like, yeah, they have Trinan, they have Knable, they have Jansen, they have some washed up closers who, are getting a lot of
they're just
production
great
out
now that
of.
they're
But then they have these all the like it's the Dodger way. They just find these random guys
they
and
threw
like
Jimmy Nelson today. Like, if you guys don't remember, Jimmy Nelson was like a Brewers like 4 starter or something, or like a long reliever, and now here he is in the high leverage moments of Dodgers games, and they just do it. I mean, who's Zach McKinstry? He's in their starting lineup now over top prospect
he,
Gavin
he
Lux,
looks
and
like Jock Peterson, and yeah, over
yeah,
AJ Pollock too.
over
They
AJ Pollock,
they
Luke
think he's better
Raley, another one of those
offensively.
guys. I mean, it's just insane how they just find people and develop talent. I don't think McKinstry was even like a top 20 prospect for them, and
It's
he
just
just comes up and
their
starts
player
mashing.
development is just out of this world, and they have obviously they didn't develop Mookie Betts, but they did acquire him, so it goes
I
very
mean, they
well.
developed Bellinger, Peterson, Kershaw, Walker Bueller,
Oh yeah,
half
May,
of their bullpen, Dustin May,
Turner, and
Urias,
Muncy,
Gonsel, and
and then
they
half their
made Turner and
team.
Muncy.
Yeah, that's like half their team's guys they also made into something who weren't anything for other teams. So, I mean, yeah, you think like PK Hernandez too. Yeah, there's a bunch
Yeah,
of guys. And then they all obviously they acquire. Honestly, AJ Pollock, he was supposed to be a lot better for them coming from the Cardinals, or not from the Cardinals, all the Diamondbacks.
D-backs, yeah.
Yeah, not the wrong Arizona team, but but
Yeah, NL West is going to be a dogfight all year for sure.
yeah.
NL the whole NL really. NL Central, we got the Reds off to a hot 9-5 start, and the Brewers. I don't know if you've seen the Brewers starting rotation, but they gave up like across 6 games. I think
I
their
saw it.
ERA was like
No,
0.59.
don't worry.
What is
We
that?
we have a series coming up against them. I saw it. They have like so Padres are gonna face Corbin Burns and Woodruff, so that's gonna be tough.
Corbin Burns looks like a Cy Young already.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
that's
he's pitching insane.
so
Their bullpen
hopefully
was supposed to be the strong part of their pitching staff. The rotation was kind of like Burns, Woodruff, and that was it. And here they are turning Hauser into a good guy, and I forget who else is even in there, but they're just hitting, and I mean they're pitching their ass off.
yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know. It still feels like early season mode, when you see teams like the Angels at the top of their division,
That's why I
and
call it the Brewers because I think they're sustainable. Because when your pitching is good, I mean,
yeah,
it's
no,
different than just a
yeah,
hot offense,
but yeah, no, you're right.
and that's where the
Angels
Reds differ.
Angels pitching, even if they were doing well, like I don't care, they're still bad. They're gonna like at some point they're gonna lose it and they're gonna fall to the where
Angels
the
will not win
Rangers
the
are.
AL West. There's
No,
no
there's no
chance
way.
that
There's no
Houston
way.
and Oakland stays down like this. Oakland, how about their start? They were like
They
0-6.
they went like 1-7 and then now they've
They're
won
now eight
seven
and two with the
straight.
7 game win
They've won
streak.
seven, yeah. So
So it
they
evens out at this point of the
they
season.
also had
Any
a really tough. We talked about that. They had a really tough opening
they had
schedule.
Houston right out the gate, and Houston just walloped
And
them.
Houston just, yeah, they just got tough. And then they had, the Dodgers, and of course, the Dodgers swept them because that's what they do. They're just destroying everyone. Padres are the only team that's like put up. I mean, they've lost 2 games, but Padres have put up 2 really close games. We'll see how Sunday goes. Hopefully, Padres win, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be a blowout with the Dodgers tomorrow. I don't trust Snell. So
I
I'm
don't know.
just
Bauer versus Snell. Bauer, people don't really trust Bauer like they trust Kershaw. And I forget who even started yesterday's Dodgers game. I think it
Bueller.
was Bueller. Yeah.
Yeah, we got the works. We got
Yeah.
we got Bueller, Kershaw, Bauer. I saw that. I was like, okay, this is gonna be a tough series. But
I know
yeah,
Bauer had like a shaky, one of his starts was shaky. Like he ended up
I
taking like a
think.
no to the sixth, and then he got like
Oh
railed.
yeah,
But
against
I
the
mean, his other
Rockies.
starts have been good.
Yeah, he still has a 2.7 ERA going into tomorrow. Snell is coming off, I want to say, the worst start of his career against the
He
Pirates.
had
He
a
got
bad
taken
one. Yeah.
out. Yeah, that was awful. I watched that. I was there's points in the season I've been really disappointed. I was like, all right, calm down. We still have Clevenger next year. We still have Mackenzie Dorr. Like Paddock and Snell, they have been really worrying me, and Tatis also, and some points of the offense. But like I said, early season. Hopefully the offense will find the groove that they're looking for, and
You got
some
to
of
get
these
Tatis going.
pitchers.
That's the
Oh
big
yeah,
thing.
that's
And
huge. That's
Hosmer's
huge.
got to stay what he was last year. And if that can happen, I mean, you're set up
Hosmer
pretty well to make a
Hosmer's
wild
doing
card.
really good. Yeah, they need. Yeah, it's.
Did
I
Will Myers change his stance? He looked a little more like, I don't know. That's kind of
Yeah,
a weird random
no, he did.
question.
He did. He changed it from last year. He's changed it every year. But yeah, he definitely has. They
He's a
they
lot
talked
more
about
like
that.
compact.
Yeah, and he's been getting his hands inside, hitting the ball inside better too. And yeah, it's definitely paying off. He's doing really good. Him and Hosmer, they're carrying the offense right now for sure. So so yeah, they're not doing insane. They're not like, Justin Turner, like 2 RBIs every game, but you know, they're doing all right. No, they're doing good. Yeah.
To bring up a team that's not doing all right, the big talk in the AL, maybe just because there's a lot more Yankees fans, but the
No,
Yankees are
that's a
five and
big
nine.
deal. They were the
They were freaking out
favorites.
on, yeah, they're the favorites. And last night,
Yeah.
it kind of came to a head. They were playing the Rays. They were down like, I think it was 6-2 or something like that. Like late in the game, Yankees fans started throwing baseballs on the field, throwing garbage on the field, and play had to stop. And they go on to lose the game. They lose today, but Yankees are 5 and 9 right now. They've lost their last four. They haven't had that tough of a schedule. I think like they've played the Blue Jays, they've played the Orioles. They took 2 out of 3 from us. They played Tampa like 7 games now. But the sky's kind of falling in New York, and there's not like a single thing to point to. I see people pointing at Aaron Boone and asking for him to be fired, but
It's just
Yankees
no,
fans are just
they,
gonna
they
do that.
just they just went about things so wrong there. And before I go too much in depth about that, I just want to say the whole AL I don't really know about, because I've been watching a lot of NL games. I just think the teams are so much better in the NL and like the
They
AL.
are.
Like the AL, I really don't know. And I think the White Sox are gonna figure things out. The Yankees. Yeah, they've been so poorly constructed. I just keep thinking, like, I don't like them having Stanton. They just have like way too much money tied up in guys that, like, I don't think it's worth it. And they really don't have much flexibility. And the Rudnit Odor trade, I was like, what are you guys trying to achieve?
That
Like,
confused me so
I
much.
know. I was like, okay, is like Rudnit Odor, like, is he gonna be their shortstop? Is he a stud defensively?
He's never had a good like
Yeah, he's
full MLB
not.
season.
No,
His
he's not.
OPS in a season that the his OPS plus in a season the Rangers played him like almost every game was like a 63. He had like 30 home runs, so the Rangers were like,
I
"We'll leave him in the lineup. He's kind of hitting for power." No,
I'd
he's
say
not. He's
he's like
63
I'd
OPS
say he's
plus.
like an average, or he's not good defensively or offensively. So I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, I thought, like, if he was at
He doesn't
least
have a
good
good eye.
defensively,
He's
he could
never
have
had a
been
good plate
like,
discipline.
yeah, like he could have been like, Gio Urshela for them, who just, like, just a vacuum cleaner. And he would have shored up their infield, especially, because of Waite's hurt. They could have had LeMahieu at first, Torres second. But they wanted Odor second, keep Torres, who's having, a bunch of
He's playing
issues
terrible
too.
at shortstop.
Yeah. And the thing is he's not like, Tatis, where this is like, what's happening, and, there's a potential shoulder injury, or there was a shoulder injury. Like, we've seen this from Torres
Yeah, he's not playing
for,
through anything.
yeah, like, this is just bad for the end. That's not like, you just like walk over and it's shortstop. It's like your middle infield defense is terrible, especially now too, because LeMahieu is at first base, so he can't
Yeah,
even play at second. And their pitching we knew. It was Garrett Cole and then a bunch of coin flips, like you said. And
I was looking at their team stats just a little bit. I didn't like deep dive into anything, but the pitching is fine. They're one of the better staffs. Their bullpen is insane. I mean, we played the Orioles played them in a 3-game series,
yeah,
and
their
after the
offense.
6th inning, I mean, our offense just died every single time, fell flat on its face. And Luis Sessa's in there, Loizaga, they're both playing really well, and this falls on the offense. This is very much their fault. Judge has been in the lineup, kind of. Stanton hasn't been hitting. No one's hitting in general. Just I don't know if they're playing tough teams. I mean, the Rays have good pitching, but this lineup is very capable. The names are very capable. They
Right.
should be able to at least get some sort of offense. They're looking at a run differential of -7, which isn't like panic time, but my Orioles, we got a run differential of -4. So like you compare the Yankees to the Orioles, I mean, what are we doing?
And they have a better record.
Yeah, better record. Shouldn't even be debatable. I know it's early and the Yankees will find themselves up there at some point, but right
If
now
it's
they're just
yeah.
overall not playing well. Their
If
defense is terrible
anything,
too.
I think the pitching is gonna regress. I feel like, and I feel like the offense will find it, but I don't think like that'll. I don't know. I just don't trust their pitching at all.
They're not
Still,
even close games, really. Like they're scoring like 2 runs a game.
yeah. Even a lot of Garrett Cole games, yeah, they're losing, or maybe not. Well, I'd have to check, but yeah, I've heard a lot of things about their offense. Yeah, I didn't. I thought their pitching too would be like kind of an issue, but
And the Rays that are a team that usually doesn't they're not like the greatest hitting team. I mean, since I think I saw the stat it said since like 2019 in September, the Rays have hit more home runs at Yankee Stadium than the Yankees have against the Rays. Like, what is that? Your team is based around hitting home runs and power, and you're letting the team that is just there, they bunt, they just hit line drives on the infield, and they're hitting more home runs at you in your own home park. And I mean, Yankees fans are just very upset at the moment.
uh, yeah, they are.
Kluber's not working out at all. I don't know if you've seen his starts. Has not been good.
What about Tyone?
Tyon's been okay. He's been good, as he usually is when he's not hurt. But
Mhm.
Kluber's been an issue. Jordan Montgomery's come back and pitched really well after his Tommy
Yeah,
John
I
like
heard
full
that.
recovery.
Yeah.
He pitched like 7 scoreless against the Orioles. But yeah, not good times in New York. You see the
Yeah.
Conforto thing with the Mets a couple weeks ago?
No, what happened? I probably heard about it but forgot. I
They had
don't.
bases loaded. It was a tie game in like the bottom of the 9th, and the I think it was the
Oh yeah, he
Marlins.
leaned into
He leaned
the
in. It was a
yeah,
strike, and he clearly didn't try to get out of the way, and they won that way. So New
right.
York, dirty. They wasted a DeGrom start. I think he threw like 8 scoreless, and they lost the game.
You know, I think I was that against the Phillies.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I
I
watched that
watched.
game fall apart.
Yeah. So yeah, both of the games I've watched that were not Padres games I've really liked. I watched Angels, White Sox game where Ohtani pitched and hit, and that game was tragic for the Angels, but they still won. They still walked it off, but there were some really tragic points for the
Is that where
Angels.
Walsh hit the homer to win it?
Yeah.
I watched that game too.
Yeah, no, yeah, we were texting about it. Remember, or I don't think you saw the Otani play live where like he had the
No, I tuned in
strikeout
right
or
after.
2
Yeah,
runs scored and then he got hurt. Like yeah, but yeah, that was that game was really cool. I mean yeah, it was interesting and then yeah, watching the Mets wasted a Drom start. I mean, that's just like classic Mets. You have the best
classic.
pitcher, just the best pitcher. The dude throws like 99 in his sleep. It just looks so easy when you watch DeGrom. It's just so unfair.
He's
And it
getting better.
honestly
It's
like
insane.
it's just I'm just like, dude, what are the Padres doing? They're just gonna have to face this guy in the playoffs. But that's gonna be cool though. I mean, we're gonna play the Mets at some point in the season too, so I mean we'll see how it goes.
Unlike the
And who knows,
Yankees, you
it
guys
might not
have
be the
actual
Mets.
like lefties.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
probably gonna be the Mets.
they're lefties. They can actually do like a Dodgers type deal, which is just right, left throughout their whole lineup now. And Jake Cronenworth is actually leading the team in hits. So a U Michigan alum.
I
He was
saw a
their
stat. It
closer
was
there.
before yesterday's game. I think Cronenworth had swung and missed at like 2
2
pitches all
pitches.
season.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's
It
crazy.
was just been on an insane run, and thank you Rays. Everyone says, "Oh, don't trade with the Rays, they're gonna fleece you." No, we got
That
we
one
got a
worked out.
really good. This dude can play all over the infield. He's like left-handed DJ LeMahieu. I was thinking about that today. Like
Kind of
LeMahieu,
like a light DJ left
right?
version.
LeMahieu plays all over the infield. He can play solid, and it's a Cronenworth's a lefty, and he's hitting really well. And
He could win a batting title one day. Maybe not yet, but one
I mean,
day,
he's hitting
when
like
that plate
350
discipline goes
last
in.
time I checked. So like yeah, and obviously it's to start the year. But yeah, he's really good. I'm happy about that. And yeah, like you said, lefties, which is how you beat DeGrom, I guess, if you can, or actually just get him out of the game as soon as possible. So yeah, but, we'll talk about that when that comes.
I was being a baseball sicko today. So I've been like stuck in my room for 9 days, I think now. Tomorrow's my last day.
Mhm.
And I watched parts of 4 games today. I watched part of the Rays Yankees. I watched part of Oakland versus Detroit. I tried to see if Casey Mize could keep pitching well. He did
Mhm.
not. Then I watched all the Orioles game, watched the last like 3 innings of Padres Dodgers, and I mean, I'm having a good time. Don't know about you.
I've had a great time just watching the Padres, like all season. And even I was looking at the schedule today and I laid it out, one more Dodgers, Brewers, then Dodgers again. And it's awesome, just baseball. They play every day, and I don't really feel like I have to. I don't know. I honestly like don't even care about other teams anymore. Like I was thinking about Volo Kid and how great of a sight it was, and I was like, oh my god, I can watch the Dodgers every night. Like they're just like an insane team. But honestly, I've just been so
I
happy
don't want to
watching the
watch the
Padres.
Dodgers.
I mean, they're just so good. Like I don't even mind like when the Padres lose. Like the fans, they could be kind of annoying, but it's honestly like I'm not. It's baseball, I'm not gonna get my feelings hurt over it. And like I can appreciate talent when I see it. And the Dodgers clearly have talent. It's just like overabundant, and it just makes me laugh. And I honestly I love it, and I love the rivalry that's happening. And yeah, no, it's definitely fun like to watch the Padres just every day. You go into a game feeling like you have a chance, and it honestly it does like when when they're good, it does frustrate you when they lose a game to the Pirates or the Giants. But then you have to like take a step back and realize like this happens. It's baseball. Like
You guys will be fine. Yeah.
yeah, like you can lose 62 games in a year and still have what's considered a good season. And that's a lot of loses or a lot of L's to think about, but they're probably going to lose more than that and it'll still be a good season. So
Tuning into these games of like winning teams has been like really hard for me to go back to like Orioles games. Like that game felt like a playoff game tonight. Dodgers Padres, and I go
both of
watch
them,
Baltimore versus the Rangers, and I'm like, yeah, 8th inning we scored 3 runs to take the lead. Oh my god! Like
it's
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 way garbage compared to these other games.
I mean, you gotta appreciate all the teams, I guess. But yeah,
It's tough looking
it
at
is
like
nice.
1 through and like 9 in your lineup, and you're like, wow, I see like 3 MLB players on this team that would probably be on other teams starting
It's
lineups.
crazy, dude. The good teams, like it's awesome. Like the Padres, I like every guy in their lineup, and it feels great. It's not like there's like before there'd be like Manuel Margot hitting, I'd be like, oh god, he's only here for his defense, like or Renfro or Franmil Reyes, and I'm like, okay, like home run, but most
He's
likely
tearing it up for the
strikeout.
Indians, by the way, Reyes.
He is all right. No,
He
good
hit
for
3 home
him.
runs in like 2 games
I
against the
mean, he
Tigers.
has to be a DH. I don't think he can really play in the
No, he
outfield.
can't play off him.
But and then is Renfro, is he starting
He's
for
on
the
Boston.
yeah, is he
I
starting
think
for
he's been
them?
starting, yeah. He hasn't really been doing much, but like Verdugo, Devers, and Bogarts have been like mashing over there. Like even Hernandez has been a really good leadoff hitter for them. And I mean,
Right.
Boston's just hitting the shit out of the ball. Their pitching staff, it doesn't matter. They're just hitting really well. Devers hit. No, Martinez is tearing it up too. I forgot about him. He
Martinez,
hit three
yeah.
home runs against us in like our second game at home.
Yeah.
Insane.
It's we'll see. I feel like that is unsustainable though.
Their pitching staff is not sustainable at all. But I mean, the Boston lineup is going to be. We knew that'd be a problem all year, but we didn't think that they'd be 9 out of their last. They've won 9 out of their last 10. I mean, that's insane.
Right. And yeah, like I said, the whole American League I really haven't been paying much attention to, and
It hasn't shaken
I don't have
itself
a
out yet.
problem with that. Like I honestly I like I don't know. I'm really bothered by the no DH in the NL, but
You
The
guys ran out of pitchers last night.
Yeah, that's another reason why the extra inning rule, if they want to stick with that, yeah, it's, I mean, yeah, it is what it is, I guess, but yeah,
Any idea what's going on with Atlanta? I haven't tuned into that really at all. Acuna's tearing it up. I know about that, but other than that, like I know Freed probably hasn't been pitching that well, and I think they're just hurting for the rotation arms to come off the injured list.
let's see,
Take a quick look at it.
I think they have a bullpen game tomorrow versus the Cubs is what it looks like. I want to try
I
to
think
pull
their
up some
lineup hasn't been.
stats.
Their lineup's like bottom 10 in OPS plus as a team, so that's not ideal for a team like that. Their ERA plus has been about league average. So yeah, they should be doing
Their
just
average is
better.
21st. That's pretty bad considering, yeah, that lineup.
Yeah, they should be better than
Pitching,
that.
so pitching, Padres actually have the number one ERA by far. They have 2.5.
I
As
saw
high
that.
as Dodgers at 2.8, and I have been noticing that. So really, last night was the first game where they got Dodgers scored 11 runs, and really it was six. But then Cronin or
It
Cedar
was all
2-run
late.
home
Yeah,
run,
I mean that game
and
was
then
6-6 going in the 10th, I think. So.
yeah, and then yeah we know about Corey Cedar. But yeah, let's see
He's
what the
insane.
that dude, yeah, so
I saw
underrated.
a good tweet yesterday. It was talking about like she's a Braves fan, and she tweeted like, "Is there anyone on the Dodgers that's like actually like exciting? Like it's just all good players. Like who's their guy?" And I think a bunch of Dodgers fans got like offended, and they're like, oh, "We have a ton of talent on this roster." That's not what we asked you. Like Mookie Betts is really exciting, but he's not like Acuna exciting or like Soto at bats are. I mean, those are insane. Like Tatis is on that level, and just there's no one on the Dodgers that's like this lightning rod. They're just
For
really
me,
good.
when I watch the games, I feel like that about every guy in the lineup. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. I think they're that good. Like for you, like for me to hear that, you don't think Mookie Betts? I think Mookie Betts is
I
better
think
than
they're
all
more
those
talented
players.
than like the
Yeah,
exciting
like
players. They're
no,
just
I know
not
what you
as
mean. I know what you
electric.
mean, but I think Mookie Betts is like in that category. And Cedar, for me, like I don't know. I can like I still like I just like I see their stats and stuff and my head just explodes that they're like all on this team together and like they can just go
Yeah.
right left and they're all like Muncy, like Turner, Bellinger's out now, but he's still like they have other guys and even when these guys are hurt, like you said, they'll find other guys and I really I don't know, I definitely I can appreciate it. Um I think I don't know. I definitely feel like when I watch Cedar, like especially after last year, I just feel like I'm
So
watching like
Seager hitting,
yeah.
yes, but like Seager on the base pass isn't exciting. Seager in the field's like
Right.
league average at best.
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you mean.
I
And
think
yeah,
Mookie's
same.
definitely that
And
guy. I mean, that diving
Turner
catch
with
to
the
end tonight.
bat. Turner with the bat is See, that's the thing. Like that's what worries me because the Padres. It feels like they paid more attention to their infield. Right, with Tatis and
Yeah.
Machado locked up long term, and the Dodgers they have an insanely good outfield. And like I'm thinking about like what matters more now because I feel like I see the Dodgers like first of all I watch a lot like the games I did watch last year in the playoffs the outfielders showed off their range in Texas really well
I mean, Bellinger's a top of the line defender in the outfield. Betts is Pollock's a really good defender. I mean, they just
right.
don't have a hole. It's insane.
No, they don't, and it's just yeah, it makes me wonder. I'm like, is the obviously
They just
infield
let a guy like
well,
Jock Peterson walk, and that blows my mind. Like he'd be a starting outfielder on every MLB team, and the Dodgers are like, Peterson, we don't need you.
TJ Hernandez, we don't need you.
Kike, we don't need you.
And look at the guys they found,
And they don't
McKinstry.
need them. They really
Yeah.
don't need them. They got better
Oh yeah,
this
last year at
offseason.
the deadline they traded Ross Stripling. They didn't add anyone. They literally they dealt, but yeah, I mean, yeah, Dodgers. Yeah, no, it is, yeah, like I said though, Turner. Yeah, you kind of your point. Not that exciting. Muncy, not that exciting, and
They just
it
put
is
together big league at bats and they just win games.
right, and even their pitching. Like you hear about Kershaw, and like obviously all these guys are throwing 100 and Young and Urias and but it's not like a Degrom or like like someone like that, and. I don't know. I feel like Kershaw, just because his playoff reputation in the years past is just kind of like it. It kind of like takes away, I guess. I mean, I still like. For me, it's just the Dodgers as a whole. Like I used to feel like this about the Yankees, I guess. Like when I would think I'd be like, oh, the Yankee shortstop, like that's such an honor, like like some stuff like that. And like now I feel like if you're a vital role on the Dodgers, that's just a really cool, like you must be really
You know
good.
you're worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, I had a point. Oh, yeah. Like I've finally like seeing it this year that the amount of Oriole games I'm watching, like the difference between a great team and a bad team. Like some on the Orioles, for example, our best player is probably Trey Mancini, at least offensively, and even he's like really struggling right now. He leads the league in double plays. He's striking out a lot. I mean, he did
Yikes.
recover from cancer, but
Yeah. No,
he's
that's
just
yeah, but you don't
I
want to
don't
lead the
have
league
that
in that stat.
confidence that he can put in like a major league at bat every single time he's in the box. Like I know he
Right.
can, but he doesn't do it every time. On the Dodgers, you're watching Manny Machado bat, you're watching Max Muncy. I mean, Dodgers versus Padres, you're watching all these like elite players bat, and every single count's going to like 2-2
Yeah.
or 3-1 and 3-2. I mean, that's that's a great team. That's how you
For
become a good player is working at bats.
for me, I would like it was a couple of years ago. I was watching, the Astros I don't know, it was maybe in the playoffs or at some point I was just watching the Astros and I was just like, dude, every guy in their lineup is good. And like even the
Mm-hmm.
guys who aren't good at hitting, they're really good defensively, so they're making up for it somewhere. So
Josh
like
Reddick, prime
yeah,
example.
exactly. Yeah. And like there's no holes anywhere. And then even with the Nationals, like they had some guys who were solid and doing well at that time. Obviously now you don't think of like Asdrubal Cabrera or Howie Kendrick as like
They were
great
playing
guys,
so good
but they
for
were
them in the
playing well.
playoffs.
And then even their center fielders, they're not good with the bats, but Robles at the
Victor
time,
Robles
and
had the
then
highest defensive runs saved in
right,
baseball.
exactly. So and then like I will look at the Padres now, and it's amazing to see they don't have I don't think any holes now, and they can like just like the Dodgers do. If they have injuries, they have guys coming off the bench who would be starting on other teams. And yeah, like you're right, I totally see it. It feels great. Like and you see both of those teams, 1 through 7, 1 through 8, and then it's unfortunate they don't have a DH, but I mean they just have phenomenal players, and yeah, it's great to see. I think I've been paying so much attention to these like last 2 games. Like I normally like it's really hard to watch the whole
It
baseball
can be
games.
on in the
They're
background,
just
yeah.
too long. Yeah, exactly. I'm usually definitely shower at some point. Definitely like definitely eat some food at some point. Maybe go to the gym. But yeah, these last 2 games I've just been watching. As much as I can,
It's
and
must
I've
watch
not.
TV. It's been
Yeah,
really good.
and my team has lost both games, and I can't say I would have done. Say I would rather have done something else. I've loved watching them lose. Honestly, it's just they're very fun games. They've gotten chippy, in both games at 2 separate points, and it's great. Yeah, I just
How do you
love it.
live from the stadium
Um,
without like being like,
no,
well, like down 3 streets and
no, it's like about 20 minutes away.
okay. You got to go to a Dodgers Padres game this year.
Yeah, I
Get
do. I
in
went to
there.
one. I've been to two in San Diego. There's I actually got free tickets one year. But I work at a store that's kind of in the area, maybe like 10 minutes away from the stadium. And so yeah, you asked me.
Your work is like 10 minutes from the stadium.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know where I was going with that, but I mean, like, no, I was saying, like, I do see a lot of people, like, I do like get a lot of guys in jerseys and stuff, and even today, I saw a lot of guys, in Dodgers jerseys, and like, I asked them if they're going to the game, and a lot of them said no because it was too expensive. But occasionally, I'll talk to some people who are going to the game today, and it's just cool to hear from the fans and stuff, and it's great the fans are back. And yeah, Dodger games are super expensive though. I went to
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
yeah, I went to two. So the first one I went to, I really wanted to see Kershaw. So I like figured out, just by using the rotation, you just, they have 5 guys and adding, you're going by the days. I was able to figure out what day Kershaw was pitching, and I bought tickets to that game like a couple, like I want to say like a month before, and then the second time I saw Maeda pitch, because I got free tickets and actually had pretty good seats, and that was cool. And both times, it's just fun, seeing those games. And obviously Padres are a much better team now. But yeah, tickets now because Padres are good, because Dodger games were already expensive anyway, because there's already a lot of fans here and they drive down. Yeah, it's tough, but I mean, who knows? I might try to go to a game in LA, in the future.
You got to change the crowd a little bit. They had a lot of Dodger chants last night.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, they definitely take over. They spend a lot of money. They don't care. They want to see their team.
I mean,
And
they're what, an hour away from you guys? That's
no, it's about 2 hours no traffic, which you're really not gonna get no traffic. So it's a decent drive. You're looking at 2.5, 3 hours, I'd say.
gotta have some dedication.
Yeah, but like I said, a lot of them live here. There's just a lot of Dodger fans here. But yeah, maybe a game in the future, in LA. But yeah, it's just it's great for the sport. Great rivalry. I feel like, and yeah.
The 3, 4 teams I'm in the most immediate area of are all rebuilding. We got Cleveland, we got Detroit, we got Pittsburgh. 3 of the worst teams in baseball.
We got Dodgers, Angels, Padres in Southern California. So, I mean, even the Angels, like their pitching is bad, but they have like two of the most talented players ever.
Angels
So,
are always a good buy. I mean, Trout's in
right.
the lineup every day,
Exactly.
so you're not trying to
Exactly.
catch a pitcher. Otani's
That's
in the lineup
yeah.
most days.
Exactly. That's a very,
Rendon.
very exactly. Yeah, I totally forgot about Rendon too. Yeah, very good point. It's kind of like the NBA with the like how just like one guy makes all the difference, and not a lot of teams can say that. I mean, yeah. I mean, even with the Dodgers, I did want to see Kershaw, but I mean, I did get to see Bellinger, Muncy. They didn't
You
have
got to
bets
see
at the
several
time.
Hall of Fame MLB players.
Yeah, and then year- hurt that year. Um, but yeah, it's just cool to see.
Congrats on the Joe Musgrove no hitter, by the
Oh,
way. It's very
that was
cool.
that was insane. I was watching that in my backyard. I'm like, I can't tell you how many times I've watched Lamette. I watched I want to say Eric Lauer. I want to say Tyson Ross. I've watched a lot of no hitters go really deep, and just it's just normal. You just see a single flick it the other way, the whole time. I was like, wow, like they actually did it. And then it was just crazy. They're just only throwing him breaking balls, and I just gotta say also, I love the Padres commentators. Like sometimes,
Don Orsillo is amazing. He used to commentate for the Red Sox. I mean, him and
yeah,
Don
Mark
Remy
Grant,
or someone Remy were just really funny in the Red Sox booth, and now he's on the Padres.
yeah,
And
with
yeah,
Mark Grant, and it's really it's
our booth sucks. Our guy, there was a home run today, and he like called it as a double at first. He's like, "Oh, and Michael Franco hits a double. Oh, that went over the fence." It's like, "Oh my god, dude." It was so bad. Like it clearly went over the fence. He's calling it as not. It
yeah.
just wasn't good. He's not exciting, and
No, a lot of teams they've
you guys are
commentated,
lucky.
even the Giants. So so it was a Giants road game, like the first one of the series, and because Volo it naturally brings you to whoever the home team's game stream, unless you switch it to
Oh, did you
the.
have it accidentally on the
Well,
Giant
no, I,
stream?
I I was like, no, I was like, I'll roll with the home commentary. Like, it'll be nice to hear another team like appreciate the Padres. Like, I was like, no, I want to hear what they have to
Oh
say.
no.
I was like, no, I was like, like I want to hear what they have to say. Like, I really did. I was like, it'll be interesting, like to hear, what they say about them,
P
about their
fan.
players.
Look at you.
And then, like I was just hearing them talk, and I'm like, bro, I'm gonna fall asleep. Like, I'm like, and I'm just
There's
like,
some
no,
really bad booths.
yeah.
Tigers have an awful
And you
booth.
know
It's
what's
terrible.
funny? You know what's funny? That game, the Giants commentators at the point I was watching, they just so happened to mention how great one of the Padres commentators was and how funny he was. And after that, I was like, yeah, I'm going back to their broadcast. It was like,
They're right.
yeah, I was like, they're right. Like, yeah, I don't know. But some teams do like. Yeah, I like the Dodgers commentators. Phillies do. Mets.
The Marlins guy is really exciting. Like I don't know how he is like during like the boring parts of games, but like they hit a
Right.
walk off today, and he was just like him and the guy in the booth felt like they were just rubbing each other's
I feel,
heads and like going crazy. It was pretty
the
tough.
Mets, so I think the Mets have Keith Hernandez, who like it's weird for me because like I know he did a bunch of cocaine, so it's like weird for me to like hear him talk the whole time, and I'm like, oh, this guy still has like a job here and stuff. Like everyone
It's
just
all
like
good.
everyone just sweeps it under the rug because he was a part of the '86 World Series team, and then the other guy, like Cohen or something, like I think he's the same last name as their owner, but yeah, he
Oh
like
really?
yeah, he's always the it's out of here guy. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean
Everyone loves
he's
the Yankees broadcast. I was listening to Tampa's today. That's pretty good. The Brewers have a pretty good booth. Someone famous, like someone that does national broadcasts, is in the Brewers booth. Yeah, just You got lucky. Just appreciate that you have a good booth.
I'm definitely, I need to appreciate, like, it's just awesome, like when, like I said earlier, like just every day, I kind of like have been structuring my like whole day around the Padres games, which is probably not ideal, but I'm still being productive somehow. And if I'm at
I gotta
work,
go
I can
back
just
to
watch it
work
on my
this week,
phone.
so I need to like put it in my pocket during the shift.
Or yeah, just you have like headphones in or something, but yeah, Volochet has been having some glitches, but
It's better than no baseball, so I just kind of like accept it.
it's not, I mean, I'm so happy baseball is back. Like, just I was thinking about it like the other day when I was watching Hassan Kim at bat. Like, there were so many times before the season started, I was just like scrounging the internet trying to find Kim highlights, and like it was just him, just the same ones over and over, and like just him watching him like just having at bat. I was just like, dude, this is so cool,
I
and
was thinking about it too. Like this time last year, we did not have baseball for like 3 more months. Like I don't think we could do that again, and I don't want to
right.
do that again. Like the amount of off days and stuff, and like the Orioles have an off day, and I'm like, well, what do I do? What do I do now? They got canceled twice, and then they did 2 makeup double headers, and it's like, well, that sucks. My entire day got
Yeah,
derailed.
for me, yeah, like I said earlier, I haven't really been paying too much attention to other teams' games, but I still can, and I would enjoy it. It just feels like, it's just not like on the top of my like priority list, I guess. But
Mhm.
like, yeah, that's the beauty. You can just like, put on whatever game you want. So yeah, definitely. I don't know. I was looking at some of the games tomorrow because the Padres don't play till 1, but then like I don't know, like I don't want to watch. Let's see, we got Bumgarner versus Strasburg at 10:05. I mean, the
That
Nationals
could be good.
D-backs.
I just don't want to watch D-backs like if I don't have to. I like Zach
Yeah,
Gallen starts,
exactly.
but the D-backs are just the black hole of baseball.
I don't know. Cardinals Phillies. I have to watch that. Nola versus Gant. I have
I
to
don't know
watch
much
that.
about Gant, but
He's a
yeah, it might not
3.0
be bad.
ERA. The Yankees Rays. All right. Yeah, I have All right. Yeah, I have stuff to do tomorrow. I guess. Couple good
Seattle,
games.
Houston. Oh, Angels versus Minnesota might be good. Speaking of Minnesota and like the White Sox, they are third in the Central. They're I haven't really watched any of their games. I mean, the White Sox threw a no hitter the other night, but
Angels Twins postponed. Sorry to cut you off, but
that's all right. I know the White Sox like lost their series pretty much to the Red Sox, and I don't know what's going on there. I just don't think their offense is going. I think they would really like to have Eloy Jimenez, but
yeah, injuries happen. I mean,
those
but
teams will come back up. I know the Twins pitching staff's been really good. Their offense just isn't going. They murdered the Tigers in a 3 game series. I think Nelson Cruz had like 8 hits and like 10 RBIs
oh
against the
yeah,
Tigers. It's
yeah.
insane. So,
There's yeah.
a
I
lot
think
going on.
the Centrals, they like the teams like the White Sox and the Twins. They have some winnable games coming up, and even the Padres. I mean, they haven't played the Rockies yet, so that should be hopefully that goes well. But remind me about the Padres Rockies when we're done. I have something to tell you about that off the line.
All right.
Um, but yeah.
All I
Um,
wanted for my Orioles this year was for us to be the best of the worst. So like we played the Mariners in a series last week. It was really reassuring to have them tied in like the 8th inning on a bunch of games, or like in the 7th inning. And I just want to be the best of the worst. If we're beating the Rangers in this series, we beat we swept the Red Sox in the first series.
yeah, no,
3 out of
it's
their four
fun to play
losses.
spoiler. It's fun to play spoiler. Like even when the Padres are bad, I would watch their games against the Dodgers, and if they would take even one game, I'd be like,
Huge
hey,
win.
we'll take it. Yeah, we beat the Dodgers. Like screw them. Like so yeah, like it's definitely there's still like benefits. It's still fun, but but yeah, and yeah, like you said, you don't have to watch them. So yeah, there are other options, and there are most of the time there's gonna be good games. If not, you can just watch a good team. So
Yeah. I'm really
yeah,
happy for Kansas City. Their offense has been great. Their pitching has been satisfactory. They're atop of the Central right now. This will not stick, but I'm happy for Kansas City. They go out
yeah.
in
No, we
the offseason and then they come out and they're looking good. They look like a real ball club. They don't look like they're rebuilding.
right,
They are, but if you
and
can
we
give
talked.
your fans the illusion that you're not,
Yeah, no, that's good. And we
goes a
talked
long way.
about that like in an earlier episode. Like they have a sneaky good lineup,
Yeah.
and it's
I
like
actually haven't seen how Benintendi's been playing, but I know Perez hit like a walk-off homer
And even
yesterday, I think.
even like I said at the earlier, at an earlier point in this episode about the Pirates, like when I watch the Padres series against them, like these teams aren't as dumb as we think we are. We might think, oh, they have no pitching. It's really easy to say a team has no pitching because there's only really two teams, being the Padres and Dodgers who have legitimate Dodgers have like 1 through 7. I say Padres have through like 1 through 4 or 5 when they're right. They're still missing Nelson Lamet, who's supposed to come back this year. Obviously Clevenger and Gore in the future. But yeah, it's not. These teams aren't that bad. They have guys that we like. Look at the Brewers. We might have said oh, they have no pitching, but then they have some guys they trust, and we'll see what lasts and what doesn't. But I mean, these teams, they have like respectable guys. It's so hard in baseball because there's so many. There's not. I don't want to say so many teams. There's relatively 30 teams in all the sports I watch, but there's just
Just
so
play
many
so many
players.
games.
Yeah, they play so many games, and there's just so many players. There's 5 rotation guys. There's so many bullpen guys. There's so many guys coming in and out, and it's like it's so hard to keep track of. And you can write off a team so easily, just by
Like the series you guys played against the Pirates, did you guys win one or did you guys lose 1 or 2? It was one, I know.
It was 2-2.
2-2. Yeah,
Yeah.
like in baseball, you can go into a series against the worst team in baseball and like still lose 2 games, and it's
Right.
like not that outrageous. But like if the Lakers go in and play like the Magic, like that's a pretty easy bet right there that the Lakers are
Right.
going to win. But in baseball, Trevor Cahill on the Pirates might shut you out through 5 innings.
NBA though,
Yeah.
there's nights though. Like if it's a bad team, the stars will just sit out though. So they
Yeah,
just
that's
won't
true.
care. Because in NBA, it's kind of they know they just have to make the playoffs. They don't care about what seed they are.
And I think that's the only team in baseball that's playing like that is the Dodgers, and they're still.
They're not even playing like that. They're just
They
like,
don't even care.
Like I said, they're just scoring 4 or 5 runs at least in 1 inning every game.
They just need to win the
like-
division, and that's it. They will. So I know you don't agree, but
No, I didn't say I didn't like at the start of the season I picked I think I probably picked the Padres, but now like
I think you did, yeah.
now yeah, it looks like the Dodgers are gonna win. There was a point like before the series where the Padres were like 1 game behind, but then the Dodgers they just kept winning, and like I'm just like okay, like I mean this is what's supposed to happen, but like they could lose some games too, to some of these teams. Like they don't have to win every game.
And the Dodgers are that exception. Like they go in to face a 4-game set against the Pirates. If they don't take all 4 games, it's a huge like what? The Pirates take a game from the best team in baseball? It doesn't happen.
Their pitching is just absolutely ludicrous. Their lineup is absolutely ludicrous. It's just like
The Pirates' best player would not be a starter on the Dodgers. Colin Moran would not start at third base over Justin Turner.
Is he normally I think he was playing first base in the series for them.
Oh, Colin Moran. Okay, he wouldn't start at first base either.
Yeah. No, he's a bad defensive first baseman. I think he's in for his offense. And then I think was the Phillip Evans. That's some random. Yeah, no, you're right.
Phillip Evans is like currently like first in Rookie of the Year voting. So or not voting,
his
but
OPS
like
is
performance.
like insane. Like, but yeah, I don't. Yeah, Pirates. They're. I mean, kind of.
The fact they've won
unfortunate.
6 games though already is kind of shocking. I think.
Yeah, no, it is.
The Cubs and Pirates have won the same amount of games.
But I mean, right. Anything else you want to talk about? I mean,
I was about to throw it to you. I don't really have anything super notable. I mean, I could deep dive into the Orioles pitching problems.
No,
I
mean the Reds. The Reds are 9-5 plus 27.
Castellanos has been insane for the Reds.
Reds, I don't trust the Reds.
No, it's stinky. It
they're. Yeah,
their run differential is plus 27, but I just don't believe in the Reds enough.
Yeah, and that division's gonna catch up to them. Like,
the Cardinals can't stay down there for too long. Goldschmidt and Arenado alone are good enough to bring that club from nothing.
Well,
Yelich on the 10-day DL for the Brewers, that kind of hurts them a lot.
That is true, yeah. But when it's your pitching that's doing all the, the rolling you could afford, but it's obviously it's Yelich. You don't want to see that, but
my guy Luis Urias, I know he's not really your guy, but I believe he's leading baseball in walks right now.
Really?
He's like top. Yeah, his on base percentage is like almost 400. His average is only 143.
That's funny.
My guy.
This is like That's funny you mentioned that. Today I was literally thinking about so the Dodger game I did go to. I think I might have told you this earlier. That it was the second Dodger game I went to. Urias had a game costing error, and I was thinking about like I'm just so much happier with Cronenworth at second than Urias. I thought about that today when I was watching a Cronenworth at bat. And I was like, yeah, but I mean, no, I mean, good for Urias though. Like he was, one of the Padres' top prospects in a loaded farm system, and I
He's
was
also
also,
leading the MLB in intentional walks right now. He has 2.
what? Okay, well that's just kind of like what?
I don't
Like
know what that is. I want to see what's going on with that. That might require a deeper dive. Oh, that's weird.
that's probably like two really specific situations. Like there's probably I don't know if he's hitting eighth, then that makes sense, or if he's hitting anywhere near the pitcher, and then that makes sense. Um,
Let's see
that's probably my
who's.
guess. Is he's hitting somewhere close to the where the pitcher hits, so
I think so, and
they
that's
would walk
definitely an NL
him,
problem.
to face the pitcher. Yeah, no, I see that all the
Oh,
time with
looks
the
like he's.
Padres.
Oh, he's tied with a bunch of guys like him, Juan Soto, Bryce Harper, Freeman, Muncy, and someone named Williams,
Okay,
Justin
but all
Williams
those
on the
other
Cardinals.
guys
They're all tied.
are not hitting by the
That's
pitcher.
tough company.
Yeah, that's and it's two.
Those other guys earned it.
Yeah, that's what I was, yeah. Then you started saying that list. I'm like, okay, there's a pretty big
Urias don't
distinction.
quite belong there.
Yeah. I
How about
mean,
my guy Mickey Moniak hitting -23 OPS plus? I know that's your guy.
he is from he
He's
did
from your area.
yeah, he is from my area, so the yeah, I don't want to go too much in depth about the area. I guess I was gonna say some stuff. It's not the same high school. It's not that. I didn't go to La Costa Canyon where he went, but I'm definitely familiar with that high school, to say the
Okay.
least. But,
I'm holding out hope for Moniak.
yeah.
First overall pick. I mean, I bought one of his
Oh, you
Bowman
did?
Chrome
Okay,
cards,
that's
his
why
first
he's your
ones.
guy. I
It
was
was like a
wondering why.
dollar on the internet. It
I
was
was
like a
wondering why you said
dollar.
it.
So
I was like, yeah, you're not a Phillies
he was
fan,
actually
then.
second in intentional walks. He has 1 intentional walk, so he was on that list. So that's how I got there. His first name's Mackenzie.
It is. I didn't even know that. I thought he was a
What?
pitcher this whole time.
No, he's left fielder.
Uh,
Mackenzie Matthew Moniak.
I didn't even know that. Well, that makes sense. I mean, he never plays, I guess. But
I wouldn't go by that if I was him either.
yeah.
All right, you got anything else? I think there hasn't been any like off-field stuff. How about your man Mercedes on the White Sox? You see what he's doing?
No.
He's like a
I didn't know much
28-year-old
about him.
catcher. He was in a bunch of different organizations, and White Sox claimed him a couple years ago off waivers. He's just been in AAA for a couple years, and he just comes up this year, and he had his first like 8 at bats were all hits, first time ever in Major League history. He's leading in a lot of different offensive categories. Like he's still hitting good. Just an interesting story. Just a big 28-year-old catcher who's just mashes the ball.
Yeah, is he gonna play over Grandal now, or is Grandal hurt?
That's the problem that he's creating is like
Yeah.
Grandal should obviously be the starting catcher. He's top 2 catcher in baseball. But this guy's making it really hard for Grandal to get these starts because, I mean, even like the peripherals on Baseball Savant for Mercedes are really good. Like he's top in exit velo, expected
Yeah.
batting average. He's not striking out because he has a really good 2-strike approach. He'll actually so on his normal swings, he like gets the full leg kick like everyone else does. But on 2 strikes, he just doesn't do a leg kick. His goal is just to make contact, and it's working out for him.
Mm-hmm.
His exit velo is kind of garbage, but his max exit velo. Let me tell you. So yeah, that's what I got. Akil Badu's a good story on the Tigers. Rule 5
Yeah.
pick.
Wilson Ramos.
Wilson Ramos.
Leading home runs.
He's not anymore, but he was. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
The AL Central is actually the best division in baseball in terms of run differential. Well, not in total, but like most teams in the positive because the Tigers bring them down a lot. But every other team's positive.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see for sure. I mean, even if we do a podcast this time next week, we'd be talking again about Padres Dodgers because they'd be playing.
Yeah. I mean, this entire standings list could be entirely different by this time next week. So it'll be interesting to see who takes the lead, who's going to fall off before they get better. And I'm really interested in what the Blue Jays can do. People have said that the offenses look good. Like Vlad Guerrero is finally looking like the prospect he's supposed to be, but the pitching is the problem they thought it was. Wait till Springer comes back for them.
This is a tough stretch for the Padres, man. So they have Woodruff Monday, 2.12 ERA, Burns Tuesday,
You got
0.49
both.
ERA,
Ooh,
Hauser on Wednesday, 2.25 ERA, and then a series against the Dodgers. I did calculate it though. Um, I thought about the Padres rotation. This whole series, they're gonna have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's gonna be Darvish, Snell, Musgrove, and then whoever their fourth is.
who's your guys' fifth right now? Is it Paddock?
No, it was Paddock is fourth. It was Adrian Morejon, who's like a young left-hander. He
Yeah, I know
throws like
him. Yeah,
98,
he's
but
a
he's
hard
hurt.
thrower.
He's hurt, so they're doing bullpens for the fifth. That's what yesterday was their fifth spot. So they bullpen led with Ryan Weathers, who actually did good. He went forward and give up a run. So yeah, but ideally, when Lamet comes back, that was the dream rotation because Lamet I think is our best pitcher honestly after
I do
last
too.
year
His
due
high
to
strikeout rate
yeah,
is just
it was just
unbelievable.
unbelievable. Yeah, and his stuff is just it reminds me of DeGrom. Honestly, I'm not even kidding. His fastball slider, it reminds me of him. And yeah, I think he's our best pitcher. And yeah, with him, you'd have Paddock fifth, and then when you think about Gore, yeah, I don't want to get too much into depth about that because they're like next. That's like in the future. But yeah, Lamet. Yeah, hopefully he comes back soon. It was nice for Tatis to come back against the Dodgers, I guess.
To
But
bring up Lamette reminds me of Glass now because their high strikeout rates are crazy. They both got talked about a lot in the playoffs last year, but Glass now is actually pitching good for the first time in the regular season, like ever. He was really good in like 2019, but this year he's got like a .46 ERA. He leads in ERA plus right now, leads in FIP, hasn't given up a homer yet. He's given up one earned run in almost 20 innings.
good for
That's
him. I mean,
insane.
he's definitely had this stuff to be, the best pitcher in the
We've been
league.
waiting for it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think his spin rate was like the highest in the MLB like last
Yeah.
year.
I mean, he struck
So
out 14 guys per 9 innings last year. That's insane. He's at 13 this year, but he's already 27 years old. It's weird. Felt like a
yeah,
younger guy. All right. I'm good if you're good. Got a lot.
yeah. I
We got a lot
mean,
out there today.
we're good. You want to wrap things up or just
Yep. So next week we will probably try to get more of a structure together for this. This is just kind of our thoughts on the season so far. We're about 2 weeks in, and a lot has happened. So that just didn't feel like worth noting. Like, oh, who's hot, who's not. No, we kind of just had to get everything, all these
right?
thoughts out there. But
Yeah.
it's been a fun 2 weeks here. Really like what I'm seeing in the MLB. Just a lot of exciting going on. But we will catch you guys next week. And I don't know what day yet. Hopefully Monday.
Hopefully. All right.